Hello, everyone. This is Oscar from Crunch Crowd. Uh, the podcast just finished, but I just wanted to add this extra bit at the end to talk about the Uncharted film adaptation because now I've actually seen it. I just wanted to tell you all my quick thoughts on it. Overall, I think it has very few reasons to exist, to be honest. I don't necessarily think it was terrible, but to be honest, I do think it's pretty bad as an adaptation of the Uncharted game franchise. Um, I do find it a bit hard to look past the poor casting, in my opinion. As I said in the podcast, I just do not buy Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg as Nathan Drake and Sully, especially with Mark Wahlberg as Sully. And as I predicted, he just does a typical Mark Wahlberg performance. Um, Now, as a pure adventure film for those who are maybe as an action adventure film for those who aren't fans of the games or who are not familiar with the games or just don't play video games in general, I'd say it's a pretty serviceable adventure film. You know, you might get some enjoyment out of it, although the plot is rather typical and cliched, and it's stuff we've definitely seen before. It reminded me a fair bit actually of 2018's Tomb Raider adaptation, which wasn't that bad. And again, I mean, maybe if I was more of a fan of Tomb Raider, I would see more faults in the Tomb Raider 2018 adaptation. But of course, I mean, as I also said in the podcast, I've not played the 2013 Tomb Raider reboot game, but I can tell you from what I know about the reboot Tomb Raider series that Alicia Vikander looks a lot more like Lara Croft. Alicia Vikander looks a lot more like Lara Croft than Mark Wahlberg does Sully. I understand, obviously, they're going for younger characters. Like I said, younger versions of these characters. Which, yeah, at that point, with that, I can kind of, like I said, buy Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, but Mark Wahlberg still just doesn't um, look like Sully, and he doesn't act like Sully in this film, including, to be honest, in terms of character decisions and sort of the general demeanor and mannerisms of the character. Apart from saying kid, apart from calling Nathan Drake kid and all that, I don't think there's not much in the character that actually feels like Sully. And I know it's a younger Sully, like I was saying, but still, the character as well just felt off when compared to, felt a lot different. No, maybe not a lot different, but felt different to the original, the character that Mark Wahlberg's character of Sully is based on. The Sully from the Uncharted games. Naughty Dog Sully. So, yeah, the other thing I would say is the humor is very hit or miss in the film. Whereas personally, I find that in the Uncharted games, definitely, I think the humor hits more often and with greater effect than it did in the Uncharted movie. Now, on a positive note, there are some moments for fans to appreciate in the film, and those are nice to see. One of which is the stowaway sequence, basically recreated in the film. Which, to be honest, having seen the film out, doesn't really serve much narrative purpose for there to be a stowaway sequence for the stowaway sequence to be recreated in the film. But whatever, it's nice as an homage to the games that it was. There's also another moment in the film that was very special. That was like amazing for me to watch on screen as a fan. I won't spoil what that is, but yeah. The music from Ramin Djawadi. Ramin Djawadi is a perfectly good composer. I think he's made some decent film scores and TV series scores. Obviously, he's most famous for scoring Game of Thrones. But yeah, as I said, most famous for scoring Game of Thrones. But his music doesn't really stack up, to be honest, to his score for Uncharted doesn't really stack up to Greg Edmondson's scores for the original Uncharted trilogy. Now, I don't remember being particularly fond of Henry Jackman's score for Uncharted 4, but I need to go and at least when compared to the Greg Edmondson score, so I do need to go back and
give. I need to go back and play through Uncharted 4 again, which I'm doing currently. I'm playing well, actually I say replaying, but to be honest, I never actually finished Uncharted Golden Abyss on PS Vita, so I'm playing through all of Uncharted Golden Abyss for the first time. I did play some of it in the past, I just never finished it, so now I'm going to actually finish the game, and then I'll get to Uncharted 4 and the Lost Legacy in this essentially replay of the whole Uncharted franchise that I'm doing right now. But yeah, so yeah, I would say it's rather disappointing, as I would have expected as an Uncharted adaptation. It's an okay adventure film, but then of course I think with also the differences in characters, and Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg do have good chemistry with each other, and performances when you don't compare them to the characters they're based on. But Tom Holland is a fairly good Nathan Drake, to be honest. Mark Wahlberg is just Mark Wahlberg in the film, but if you just treat their performances as just them being them and not them being their original characters, they do have some fairly good chemistry. They put in good performances from that perspective. Sophia Ali is also quite good as Chloe Fraser, but again, it's a bit. I feel like Claudia Black, her voice and motion capture for Uncharted, especially her tone of voice for Chloe, is just. For me, Chloe Fraser is a character that I can't see being played by anyone else other than Chloe Fraser, because other than Claudia Black, because she just has that distinctive voice to the character, and whenever anyone else is performing, so obviously what am I trying to say? No disrespect to Sophia Ali, obviously, because her performance is great, I think, as Chloe Fraser. I just think Claudia Black is I just think Claudia Black is Chloe Fraser, and all of this really just begs the question for me. If all of the original actors, Nolan North, Richard McGonagall, Claudia Black, who plays Chloe Fraser, if all of those actors are just so iconically linked to their characters, especially in terms of their voices and their motion capture performance, their motion capture performances, then why is this film even being made? But that's the thing, right? I just think it could have been an original adventure film with essentially a completely new IP that if Sony wanted to turn into a franchise, they could. Now, of course, there is. I won't give anything away again, but it would appear we are going to get some more Uncharted films if this one is successful. We'll have to see that yet. The film doesn't open in America until next Friday, so we'll have to see how it goes, I suppose. But yeah, if you're a fan of the game series, I personally wouldn't recommend it that much. But I'm not gonna say don't go see it, because there are some enjoyable things, like the one fan moment that I was talking about. The one moment for the fans that I was mentioning, that's a brilliant moment in the film. Again, not giving it away because it's a spoiler, but so just a quick spoiler-free review of Uncharted. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5 star rating on Letterboxd. I think that's about right, because I was thinking it's a 2-star Uncharted adaptation and a 3-star adventure film. So that's about where it lands for me. It's not a brilliant start, to be honest, for the new PlayStation Productions label, but we'll have to see how the other shows and films that are planned in the future pan out. Really, I have hope for some of them and not for others, so we'll just see how that all goes. But anyway, I think that's about it, everyone. So check out the Uncharted movie if you want to. I wouldn't personally recommend it, but if you want to go see it,
It's up to you. I'm not giving it really a very glowing recommendation. I don't really think it's that good, and I think it would have been a lot stronger, to be honest, if it had just been its own original IP and not sort of use the Uncharted license and the Uncharted name, because I don't know. I mean, one thing that the film does do, at least, is make the games, to be honest, look better. It does make the games look enticing. It's like if someone who has never heard of the Uncharted games before were to watch the Uncharted film and enjoy it, then surely and then if they wanted to then discover the Uncharted games, then there you go. They've got their world open up to a fantastic series of video games, in my opinion. And they may well enjoy those as well. Or maybe if they just don't feel like playing a video game because they don't play video games or whatever, then maybe they won't. But this the Uncharted film, I think, does work as is maybe going to have the benefit of introducing new players to the Uncharted franchise who maybe haven't played it before. So yeah, we'll see how this film does in terms of critic reviews and box office. The critic reviews have not been great so far, but yeah. But yeah, there you go. That's my little quick review. I say quick, I've been talking for 11 minutes. I do go on, don't I? Of the Uncharted film. Thank you all for listening to this. And yeah, as I said, be sure to follow Crunch Crowd if you want to on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and subscribe to us on YouTube if you want, and follow us on Twitch if you also want to. I think that's about everything, so thank you all for listening. I'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.